What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dirty Degens. I am your degenerate host, Josh. And tonight, I've got a banger for you because tonight we are digging into a micro cap meme coin on the SUI blockchain. And I really do have a lot of belief in the SUI blockchain. And not only that, I have a lot of belief in the ecosystem as a whole. And that's why I talk about it so much. So it only makes sense to dive into one of the up and coming meme coins on the SUI blockchain and bring the founder right to you guys. There's nothing I love more than a founder of a meme coin that's willing to put their face out there, put their voice out there, and really speak on behalf of the project. It really says a lot. But I also have a giveaway for you guys too. And it's courtesy of the founder of King Crab on SUI. Tonight, I have the founder of King Crab on SUI on, and he also donated $100 in SUI tokens. So we're going to be doing 5 giveaways in order to distribute that. Now, there are a couple rules. You must be subscribed to the channel, and you also must be following King Crab on X. I think I put that in the description. I will double check. And you also must be following me. That's definitely in the description. Let me make sure before I go further that that is in the description. It should be, yes. King Crab's X is in the description as well. But I'm going to go ahead and bring the founder on, so you guys give him a big round of applause for being willing to show up. King Crab, how are you doing, my friend?
Man, every morning I wake up, I'm bullish. We've got a great SUI ecosystem. We got a great, group of people. Even got us to you, man. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, I mean, how it actually, Kyle Ward's here in the chat. How it started was, I think I did a stream like 3 days ago on, what's today? On Tuesday. And at the end, Kyle Ward was like, hey, what about King Crab on SUI? And I'm like, I've never heard about it. And, that's really how memes grow. It's word of mouth. It's an attention economy. And you need participants in the project that are willing to go out there and talk about it. And that's how it gets found.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. And hopefully, I mean, I've been in the Telegram. I listened in on the spaces last night. I was a little tired, so I didn't get up there and talk. But, it sounds like you've got some solid community members that are helping, not only helping you like get stuff done for the project, but ultimately just spread the word, right? So I can't wait to dive in all of that and really find out how and what your plans are and everything. But before we do get into that, it only makes sense to get the giveaway started, because we've got 5 giveaways we're going to do. Each one's $20 of SUI. And hey, if you put $20 in SUI into King Crab and it does 100x, that's 2 racks, baby. It's 2 racks. And I mean, I put 1,000x on the title because King Crab is 25K market cap still. So there's no reason why I can't do 1,000x, right?
Absolutely. We're never going to stop grinding. We're never going to stop, crawling across your timeline, man. It's what we do.
The crustaceans are just crawling their way into my timeline.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and get the giveaway started. So I'm going to do this right here. All you guys have to do is put in what word King Crab decides on into the live chat, and that will get you entered in for the giveaway. So King Crab, what do you want the keyword to be?
Let's do the keyword to be molting, because as we grow, we molt, we gain muscle, we gain strength, and we keep growing.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I love it. That's clever. I wouldn't have thought of that. So definitely clever. Molting is the keyword. If you drop molting in the live chat on YouTube, so those of you that are watching on Kick or on X, you're going to want to go into my bio, and you're going to want to come over to YouTube, because that's the only way you're getting entered. So go ahead and do that. You can spam the chat all you want. Just drop molting. I see a hashtag. I don't think that works. Just normal old molting. But before I pull a giveaway, this is King Crab. And, one of the things I want to talk about is on this chart, but doing pretty good. Last I looked, there's like 80 to 100 holders, up 4% in the last 24 hours. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit, because you know what, King Crab, I don't feel like that chart does you justice. That wick's a little bit. Actually, before we get into it, why is that wick there?
That wick is there because right after we bonded, we had the CEDAS hack happen, and it froze us. I mean, everybody, they looked at it as something happened. We didn't know what to do. Honestly, we got frozen at King of the Sea on moonbags.io. So you've got to find anything bullish about a small, if you want to call it a setback. But as Turbos got integrated, everything got ironed out. They had to reset somewhere, and they reset us at 20K, and we kept growing. We never stopped.
Yeah, and I know that impacted a lot of projects, especially the smaller projects when the CEDAS hack happened. What should I know, like, bygones be bygones, we can't be upset about it, but I'm just curious, what should the LP have been?
I'd have to think about it. Honestly, off the top of my head, I don't know what it should have been.
No problem. I was just curious if you knew.
Yeah.
And actually, I also totally jumped the gun. Sorry, guys. It's been a long day for me. This is my fourth stream today, or fourth video shoot today. So I'm a little bit off my game. But, first and foremost, while I'm setting up the banner about the giveaway, King Crab, I'd love to know a little bit more about you and why you decided to start a project, honestly, before we get into all the other stuff.
Yeah, a little bit about my backstory. I dabbled in crypto here and there off of Robinhood, off the app. I watched the Shiba Inu grow, and when the jail stool craze hit, that's when I jumped in full bore. And I wanted to see how things work, what made people bullish, and what made coins grow. So I dabbled in, like everybody jumps into in Solana, and figured out how things worked. When I started watching SUI, I saw the longevity. You got the SUI play coming out later this year. You've got all these great meme coins that are coming out, and they're growing a great rate. And my background is delivering tires. I'm constantly shilling my company and being the face of my company, and I figured I could do that in the crypto ecosystem, and I chose SUI to do it. I chose Moonbags because it's like a one-stop shop, honestly. You can make your coin, you can lock your coin for conviction. We've locked 5.29%. When we first started, I locked it for 6 months at the time when we made the coin, and that was May 9th. So November 9th, it unlocks. And when that becomes unlocked, it goes straight to staking, because, with being able to stake your own coins on Moonbags, plus liquidity pools, you're able to make your coin self-sufficient. You don't have to worry about a dev going, oh man, how am I going to pay rent? I've already got a 9 to 5. I can do that. And since we've done merchandise and we've got our artist, our web designer, we can pay him off of the staking gains, and we can reinvest it into the coin.
So that's actually something new that I didn't know. And just to clarify for everybody, because apparently I don't know either, Moonbags is a launch pad on SUI, right?
Correct. And
they've
like
got functions. Yeah, and they have functions built in where if you launch a token on their platform, you can implement staking.
Correct. You can stake your own coin right off the bat.
That's pretty cool. That's definitely pretty cool. Do you also get to decide the APY, and you have to put aside a part of the supply in order to pay that out and everything? Like, how does that work?
It automatically gets separated out. The developer, I think, gets 10% of the fees. And then I can't remember off the top of my head what percentage goes to the holders. But out of the 27% of our coin that's staked, it goes out to those holders for
awesome.
What they can do with the coin.
And I know we're jumping the gun a little bit, but since it's being talked about, are there going to be incentives to stake other than APY and things like that? Or is it just like, hey, you have this ability and you can do that?
It's kind of like saying we have this ability to do it. The incentive is with us being at a 25K market cap, it shows everybody's conviction.
Yeah.
Like you said, we've got over 100 holders. A lot of those have staked the coin for conviction because they know the growth of King Crab. They know my vision from when we started. And, they can grow their bags because we're not the only coin out there. But, you know, like on moon bags, you can stake in other coins. I've done that so I can grow our floor. So,
Right.
yeah.
No, that totally makes sense. And I think it's a cool thing to have involved. Whereas like, a project that launches on Pump Fund does not have those capabilities. So
Correct.
it's a completely different question. Then you're migrating contracts and building something new out, right? Like you have these capabilities from the get-go. Down the road, if you wanted to launch like an incentive in order to stake or like if you stake and stuff like that, you can always add that on,
Correct.
So totally. Makes total sense. But before I do just confuse everybody in what we're talking about, because I needed you to intro yourself a little bit because I had to set up the banner mostly. But also we care about who you are. But we're talking about King Crab on SUI. So if you're not following King Crab on SUI, not only is the tag in the banner, it's also in the description, or you can just go to X, type in King Crab on SUI. Now, we're not here so I can give you recommendations, but one recommendation I do have is when you do spaces, record them bad boys so that I can go back and listen.
Yeah, we started recording them, and then we got some people that came in. It got a little unhinged in a good way because we have fun.
Hey, I mean, the channel's called Dirty Degens, man. We get degenerate around here.
Right. Yeah, we talk about SUI, we talk about other coins, we talk about good things with other coins. We just have fun. And we got to the point, we would record them, but then it would get unhinged, and then we'd have to, delete them. But so we started just doing it that way so people know we're being consistent, because consistency is key in crypto and everywhere we work. So I wanted to at least show that. Yes, you are right. We need to start recording some of them again, because we have fun, but we need to keep showing people what we talk about.
Yeah, not only that, it's not the only spaces you're doing. I mean, I see that you've done numerous a week.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, hey, if you want to have your play spaces, that's good, but I would suggest you at least record a couple a week.
Yes,
but that's just my suggestion.
No, hey, we go to every space, I've got a lot of things that I need to iron out, and we're always, like I said, we're molting. We're constantly refining our art in King Crab, and any criticism is a good one. We're going to take it and we'll run with it, and we'll grow with it.
The great thing about criticism is it's exactly that. You don't have to listen, but if you choose to, and if you find a way that implements into your strategy and you think it'd be beneficial, then you listen. Criticism is exactly that. So,
Absolutely.
but hey, over the last week or so, the chart's actually looking pretty good. If we take out the whole wick thing, it's up 53%. Obviously, when you have a good run up, you're going to have a fall off too. But these consolidation patterns, they look solid. Let's zoom it out a little bit more. It's hard to do when it has that big wick at the beginning. That's all that sucks because it messes up the chart. But overall, I mean, you've got a relatively predictable chart. So now we're getting close to another pump up, and hopefully we see a pump up higher. But what I'm curious about first off is, obviously if we go to the website, we got King Crab, the King Crab on SUI. And I understand why you went crab due to SUI being the water chain, right? But what is the vision and meaning behind it? Is there attachment to you? Do you have a storyline planned out? Do you have I know you've got the roadmap and everything, but do you have plans to further the crab or anything like that? What's all behind it?
Okay, so the reason why I chose the King Crab, I love the show Deadliest Catch. You've got to brave the storms to get the gold, basically. And when I did the research in crabs in general, the copper in their blood makes their blood blue, so they bleed SUI blue. If you look into Greek mythology, goddess Hera, wife of Zeus, had a crab that showed conviction, and she gave its place up in the stars. So you can look in the ocean and you can look up in the stars at night, and you'll see the crab. So
No, that's cool, and it makes a lot of sense. And I'm happy that you said the Greek mythology part, because like I love mythology, so like I knew that already. So that's super cool that you brought that up. You know, I think it's an interesting thing that not a lot of people will realize. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But you know, it's got its armor. It like we've been talking about, it molts. It gets bigger. Some crabs, they work solo, but a lot of them, they work in packs and in their own little communities. And as they stick together, they grow bigger. They look bigger for the predators that are around, and they stay stronger. So, you know, like CT is, it's a Wild West, but as long as we stick together, we build together, we'll grow in this SUI ecosystem in CT, and it's gonna, that wave when it happens is gonna be amazing.
I mean, it comes to those that work, and don't get me wrong, it's not going to be easy, and I hate to do it, but it's also not going to be easy to win this giveaway. There's currently 31 people entered, and we're going to do the first draw. So I'm going to do the first draw, King Crab, and I'm going to let you call out the winner. But you have to tell them the rules. They must be following King Crab. Obviously, they got to be following me. But other than that, I'll drop the rest afterwards. I'll let you just call out the winner.
All right.
So, drum roll. You probably can't hear that. My mic is too not sensitive.
We've got Hannah.
Congratulations, Hannah. You won the first drawing for $20 in SUI. You can say thanks to King Crab for coming on the show and donating the SUI to give away. But there is more you have to do in order to get that SUI. You obviously must be following King Crab on X, and obviously me too. We already talked about that. But what I need you to do next is I actually need you to drop your Telegram handle in the live chat so that when stream is done, I can send you a message and distribute your winnings. You know, it's that easy. I don't want you to drop your wallet address in the live chat because that gets too messy. Just drop your handle and I'll message you later and get you those winnings. And luckily, the beautiful mod Cast with the Sass is in the chat. So that means she's going to save it for me. So I don't even have to. That's better. But yeah, getting back to it, you know, obviously you say that it's going to, and we got 4 more giveaways to go, guys. So you better stick around. If you're not present when your name gets called, I'm rolling it again. We're not doing this crap. You got to stick around for the show. If you leave, you don't win. But obviously, like you said, molting, we got to grow. We have to expand. We have to get the word out. And getting the word out is the most important thing. Obviously, you've already got Kyle that's getting the word out. I know you've got others that you're working with. But like, do you have any incentives for people to get the word out? Or do you have marketing plans in place? Do you have connections in order to get them in place? Like, how could people be ensured that you have the vision to get the project there, but do you have the capabilities, right? Or
yeah. Well, you know, we've got our own little raid contest going on. It goes on for a week. As we grow, the prizes get bigger. But for our top raider for the week wins $10 in SUI. It will grow. I want to do $20 for the top number 1 and then get the top 3. But, you know, we've got to grow. We've got, you know, it's going to be great. A lot of people are shilling us for the grind, you know. We haven't paid any KOLs yet. We haven't paid raid teams yet because we've been using it to reinvest into the coin to grow it. You know, it's cool. I'm constantly on spaces, like, you know, you're doing your shows. I'm driving in a pickup all day and I'm shilling as I'm going down the road. it's, this has became my second job, and I'm double dutying it uh, every day.
That's what people don't realize is when somebody starts a coin, like they typically have a full-time job, right? Like, they're
Right.
hoping they can start a coin and it goes to the moon and retires their bloodline, yada, yada. But like the amount of attention it takes to actually build that community and make it thrive
Hmm.
is unlike any other. I don't have the time to do that. And you're doing it, you're doubling up your time. You're double, two
Yep.
birds, one stone, driving your day job, but also driving King Crab. And
Right.
it's hard. You have to basically be there 20 hours of the day.
Yeah, and that's basically what I'm what I'm doing. I wake up, check the TG, make sure everything's going all right. It makes me bullish every morning, and I usually, you're in the same time zone as I am. I'm usually still up about 11. Sometimes our spaces go until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and you got to, when you get that big group of people that come in, you got to stay connected.
Totally.
It's hard when you've been up since 5, and now it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, but you got to stay connected for the people that want to hear about you and want to grow with you. Because if you cut them off right at that time, you just maybe lost a few buyers.
That's the thing. Crypto is global and it's
Hmm.
24/7, right? It never goes to
Yep.
sleep. But like you brought up something interesting and something that's good. Like connecting, getting connected with people and working together and all that. Like partnerships. How is
Hmm.
partnerships looking for King Crab? Because the SUI ecosystem is still pretty new. There's not a lot
Right.
of like really big projects on it. Like I guess the biggest meme you got Lofi, just had DMC that entered the space. Obviously, Walrus went crazy, but like
Hmm.
that's about it as far as things go. Like we've got Momentum Dex that's going to launch a token here soon. Maybe that goes crazy, but like it's very minimal of what there is going on. But I have noticed that a lot of projects in the SUI ecosystem are very open to collaboration. Are you like knocking on those doors and getting those doors open, or how are you
Oh yeah.
approaching that? Like we're by ourselves?
Um, we're constantly talking to higher market cap coins, even coins that are in the same market cap as we are. We've had some coins that came into our spaces. I told them to, show their coins, see what they had. And,
Mm-hmm.
because we're here for the SUI ecosystem. We're not just here for us, because we can't build the SUI ecosystem by ourselves. Um, so we've respectfully shilled, and we're shilled by some other major cap coins. Um, and yeah, we've worked with Olo the Croc. We've worked with Sui head chop on Sui with Sui heads. Um, we've even worked with Toilet Dust, and I'm here for everybody, because as long as we build together, we will we will thrive in the longevity of Sui. You know,
Yeah. And don't get
yeah,
me wrong. I know that we had a brief conversation on X and stuff, and I said like, "Oh, I don't support Toilet Dust. I'm not going to sit here and smash them or anything like that." Um, I just happen to have history with the dev,
no, that's
and
fine.
I'm not a fan of the dev, but that's not what this stream's about. So I'm not going to
Right,
get into
right,
it.
right. But the thing of it is everybody has their thoughts on everybody else, but we all can still work together in some way.
Totally.
Um, you know, just because somebody has bad blood with somebody else isn't going to turn me off. Because here's a little backstory, and it's not a flex on me. My past history in jobs, I used to be a detention officer for 4.5 years. Just because one person didn't like the other, I still had to do my job. I still had to respect everybody. And, you know, it's not going to turn me off to one person or the other. I'm here for everybody. And, I respect everybody. You know, Toilet was the first one that their community, I should just say, has helped me quite a bit. They're they shill us in their own spaces. I jumped into one of their spaces, and they were shilling us and talking about our grind. And you know, I went on to a couple other spaces. I got work on to shill and things to grow, fine tune my coin. But they like the grind. They like. I mean, we made business cards. Here, one second.
While you're doing that, I'm actually going to do another roll because may as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to interrupt your story with a roll.
No, you're good. You're good.
We got 33 people currently entered, guys. If you guys just tuned into the stream, we are giving away 4 more giveaways of $20 in SUI. All you have to do is put molting into the live chat, and that will automatically enter you as long as you're on YouTube. If you're on X or if you're on Kick, it's not going to do anything. You've got to be in YouTube. But I'm going to do this poll now, so then we'll only have 3 more left, and let's see who wins. You can't win twice. We're not doing that. This one we've got Warrior Crypto. Congratulations, Warrior Crypto.
Yeah.
He just dropped his comment a moment ago. So, see, it's never too late to enter. And, guys, I don't care if you keep spamming the chat, but it doesn't do anything. Just spam the chat, though. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. But Warrior Crypto, in order to get your winnings, what I need you to do is, first off, make sure that you are following King Crab on X. The link is in the description. The tag is in the banner. Also, obviously, make sure you're following me. And then what I need you to do is either drop your X or Telegram handle in the live chat. The wonderful mod, Cast with Sass, will grab it, and then I will message you afterwards, and I will send you those tokens very promptly. Hopefully. It's been a long day.
Yeah, it has. It has.
But no, so you've got some business cards?
Yeah, so we made business cards. Basically, what I'm doing, I am getting done is I'm big into fishing. So I used to do fishing tournaments, stuff like that. So the guy that made my fishing jerseys, I'm getting king crab on the front, I'm getting SUI on the sleeves, king crab on SUI on one sleeve, and I'm putting I got in touch with some other coins that have worked with us before. And I'm putting them on the back because, like I said, we're one big ecosystem, and we've got our state fairs coming up. We've got the Iowa State Fair, Minnesota State Fair. I've got the business cards made, and I'm going to turn myself into a walking billboard for King Crab and hand out King Crab business cards.
What would be cool is if you could work with somebody to set up like a distribution smart contract almost. So this would be separate. You can't do this with how everything's currently built. And don't get me wrong, I'm like pipe dreaming, right? I know it's a process and everything, but like it'd be cool if when you give out those business cards, there's a QR code, somebody can scan it, put in a wallet address, and they get like $2 in King Crab or something like that, right? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we've even got we've got a guy, Wiz12. He had one made. It's got his PFP on it, his little King Crab on it, and it's got a QR code on the back, and he turned himself into a walking billboard. People are scanning the back of his shirt, asking questions. What we're doing is, we talk about a lot of people call them normies, but the general public, that aren't in crypto, like what we did with our merch store at the time, because we didn't know when Cetus was going to come back. So people love our art. So we're like, you know what? We can get our art out there. And we're trying to make walking billboards out of our customers, basically.
Yeah, especially if you can do it subtly. So like somebody doesn't care. Like that's even better. I mean, I'm not going to lie. You were talking about those jerseys. I'd wear one of those jerseys. Sounds epic. Like
we can get one made for you.
I've got a DeFi Kingdoms jersey I wear all the time. I've got other jerseys that are crypto jerseys I wear all the time. Like I love jerseys, man. And that jersey sounds epic.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Sounds like it. I can't wait to see pictures of it. I mean, hey, if you want to send me one, I'm not gonna say no. I'm not gonna say no.
Hey, just we'll get Dirty Degens on the back of it, and all I need is an address, man.
Awesome. No, yeah, we'll have to talk about that. But what I'm curious about is ultimately, like, it's great. We've got the project in early stages right now. Ultimately, that's what it is. You're building a community. You're getting the name out there. You're building awareness. You're doing guerrilla marketing, right? This is all amazing stuff. And the great thing is too, like, I'm not trying to like pump Phantom or anything like that. But the nice thing is that Phantom also made it really easy to onboard people into SUI because, before getting a slush wallet and all this other stuff, a lot of people don't want to do that. So they made it easier. But aside from all of this, like, what is your overall like end goal and end vision with King Crab?
You talk about Phantom. That's how I got onboarded. That's how I got
Oh,
started.
really?
Yes. And everything fell into line after that. My long-term vision is to build a brand. Just like you do, like you are right now, you keep finding new ways to grow. And I want to, maybe work with something for the guys with Deadliest Catch or something like that. Or, the crazy thing of it is crypto is our playground and it's endless. Yeah. So it really doesn't have an end goal, but I just want to build something where I can have a great brand, people can make money trading the coin, and maybe in time later down the road, we get a game built and maybe be on the SUI play. That'd be sweet.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be cool. And we could have like a little dirty degen PFP catching crab,
right?
Out there fishing and stuff. But
a nerd in his robe catching a crab. Let's go.
Absolutely.
I'm not wearing a robe today. I didn't have the time to change, but typically I wear a robe on these streams.
But I keep going. I try to stick on a constant path. I really haven't thought of the end goal because it is endless. I want to build, like I said, I want to build a product for everybody. I thinking about it. I mean, I never knew I was going to be here. I never knew I was going to get this far.
Is this your first time also? You're basically doxing right now too, right? Like you haven't doxed other than your voice before either.
Well, I've doxed a couple other people. I dox in my VCs. I'm going to start doing phishing VCs in our telegrams. Nice. So I did that once just to hang out and chill and, let people ask questions. And I'm going to start doing that more. But yeah, I honestly, haven't really thought of the end goal.
Well, that's the great thing about memes. There doesn't have to be an end goal. I'm happy that you didn't say, to be the biggest meme. Like, I get it. That's everybody's goal. Sure. But like, that's not a real goal. Like,
I can sit here and say, you know what? I'm going to flip Lofi. I'm going to flip Axel. You know what? I want to walk with Axel. I don't want to, because if you try to, I want to eat with them instead of compete with them.
Exactly.
Because if you try to chew too much, you're just going to choke and you're just going to fall off. If you stay at a constant, steady pace and work your way and learn from the great people in CT, the ones with Lofi, the ones with Axel, all the other devs that you meet along the way, growing with them is going to be a lot more stable than trying to fight them, because we're at 25K. They're at I think millions.
Yeah, Axel's like 2.5 million right now. I mean, just so you know, like I actually called Axel on this show at like $1 million before it ran to 80. So
nice. But working with them is going to be a lot easier than trying to fight them. And
it's like what Mozzie says right here. The thing I love about SUI's ecosystem is there's much more togetherness rather than the PvP style we see on other chains. And that's exactly what you're saying.
Absolutely. A lot of us got onboarded with Solana, but are you going to sit there and keep trying to compete, playing the PvP game, or are you going to sit in a better, I shouldn't say a better ecosystem, but another ecosystem where you have a lot of the
better.
Right. I'm not throwing shade on anybody, but the thing of it is that you know, you want to go somewhere where you're going to feel more relaxed. You got cheaper gas fees on SUI. It's quicker, and the longevity. I mean, that's going to sell somebody right there. And if you've got a dev like me, I know I'm kind of tooting my own horn, but if you got a dev like me that wants to build with everybody and not compete with everybody, and with my background of working 9 to 5s and not just trying to go with the flow, but I'm trying to better myself and better the company I work for, that's the same way I'm going to run King Crab. I'm not just a dev. I've got to be a leader. I've got to be a leader in the TG. I've got to be a leader on X. I got to show myself. I've got to show the vision of my coin, the worth that I have in my coin, and the worth that I have on the people that are going to be in my coin, be in the vision of my coin.
No, and that's bullish. A lot of people forget that, like, if they are part of the team or if they are the dev, like, you also have to work for that bag. Like,
absolutely. I've got to show up every day. I've got to show up to, the dirty degen space with Josh and, shill my coin. And I've got to be in like 6 other spaces during the day and listen and learn from the good and the bad from other shillers, other devs, because that way I can grow myself and I can grow for my holders, because I'm not just one person. I don't just worry about myself. I worry about my holders. I make sure, if I see something that doesn't jive with me, I make sure they know, because I don't want them to get hurt. So, we've got a good group of people that, they kind of see the stuff, like if it's like either moon bags or something's going on the Phantom app where something's not trading right, or SUI's kind of, SUI's still new with Phantom, but if something seems kind of odd, we let people know. We be transparent with people, because if I see something and I don't say anything, I feel like I'm just as liable as what happened.
Yep. So I mean, it's like what I do here. It's the exact same thing. Like if I see something bad, and you may not be aware, but I'm also COO of one of the biggest crypto media companies in the entire world. So I'm COO of Cryptos Are Us. So I manage our day-to-day operations, our content flow, everything like that. There's all sorts of things that I see. And that's part of the reason why I do this show, is because I want to hone in more on the things that I see that are going wrong in the space, going right in the space. I feel like it's my duty to share what is a warning sign to me.
Well, exactly. And that's just like when you checked out our coin, when Kyle let you know about us, I sat there and listened. You had questions about why we were doing merch so early. And, I listened to what you had to say, because just because, I'm the dev does not mean I'm right 100% of the time. I still got to listen to the people that have constructive criticisms, and we're all going to work together. I'm using this as a learning experience, not just for my coin, but to learn how to shill our coin. That's the reason why I'm here. I'm here to let people know about us, but also learn and grow.
You know what else is going to grow?
What's that?
Somebody's SUI bag.
I was just going to think of that.
One thing I'm known for is my terrible transitions. So we're going to go ahead and roll this again. And I don't mean to cut you off, but we have 5 giveaways we got to do, and we've only done 2. So we got to do another. And who's going to win this one? Scott Acker. I used to do the show with a Scott. He's still a filthy degenerate. But Scott Acker, you just won $20 in SUI. All you got to do in order to win is 3 simple things. You got to be following King Crab on X. You got to be following me on X. In order to get into the giveaway, you already had to be subscribed to the channel, so don't worry about that. But what I need you to do next is drop your Telegram or Twitter handle and say which one it is so I don't get confused. And I will message you after stream and I will promptly send you your tokens. So congrats, Scott Acker. And we've got 2 more polls to do. So yeah, just brief intermission there. But no, it's a very good point that you've got there about, just being present and trying to get the word out and everything. Now King Crab does have, let me put this back up. We do have, the memory game. You also mentioned PFPs. So let's start with the memory game. Currently, you can go in and you can play it, and that's fun. It's something for people to do. Like we can,
something to kill time with.
Right, we can play, and that's awesome. Apparently, I'm just not going to get any fucking combos. I think that one was over here. Now I'm on a roll, so we're going. Look at me, I'm killing it. Why is there an extra one? I'm confused. There we go. All right, I won. But is there a plan to gamify this in a token stance? Are you going to, maybe not right now, but have you considered down the road that people can play and then maybe the top 3 fastest times of the day get part of a pot or something? I don't know. Is there a plan to gamify it?
We've been looking into it. We do have a game that's kind of like Subway Surfer. It's called, if you put / crab runner, you can run through the subways and collect crab coins. So
nice.
We just got the game. We've had the game for a while, but we haven't connected it with winning King Crab coins. But that's looking at in the future. We have a few ideas of what we could do in the future, but I just don't want to get ahead of what we're doing right now, because right now we need to build community. We need to build the look. We need to refine some stuff, and I just don't want to get ahead of myself. So
I mean, we're at this point now, we're talking about future, what people can look forward to, and stuff like that. It totally makes sense to take a step back and try to refine the things you already have. Now you're gaining traction. I'm not going to try and toot my own horn, but now you're on a live stream, you're doing more spaces, you're gaining traction, right? So then you take a step back. Instead of working on things in the future, you try to really refine what you already have. So I imagine maybe you have a new website that you want to build or something like that. I also noticed here, for example, on the website, this image is way different than the King Crab on SUI image.
Correct. That is what I didn't have an artist yet. I put all my money into the coin, and my artist came to me, and he said, let me make you a gift. And that's what he did. And I was like, man, I need to keep this guy. So as I grew, I made sure he got paid. My web developer did the same thing. And I made sure they got paid, and, they stuck around. So, just like the original image that I had made, we keep growing. We grow in many ways than one, from our PFP to our growing our community, growing, people want PFPs. So they've paid for their own through our artist. And, at some point we're going to work on NFTs, and, when we'll have that too. So.
Oh no, that's awesome. That was actually going to be my next question, but we're starting to run a little long, so I'm going to do another poll, and then we'll get into that. So I'll go ahead and just start that now. Let's see who wins. I wish I could still pound on my table and people would hear it, but I changed my mic, so now they can't hear it. Jeff Leopard, a longtime viewer of the show. He's been watching me for over a year now. Currently, we have 108 people tuning in live. So congrats to all of you guys that have won. And to those of you that haven't won yet, if you drop molting in the live chat, you will be entered to win. But Jeff Leopard, you already know the drill, but I'm going to tell you the drill anyways. Jeff Leopard's actually won a few times in my streams. Oh, shoot. I didn't do it on stream. My bad. Oops, Jeff Leopard, you won. But Jeff Leopard, you know the drill. Drop your handle in the live chat, whether it's X or Telegram, or you know what, just message me on one of our prior conversations, because I know you've won, and I will get those tokens to you soon. I'll need a SUI address. Make sure you're following King Crab on X. I already know you're following me. And, you know, sometimes the messaging changes based on who wins because I've seen this guy forever. Speaking of seeing forever, Todd Downing, man, he's been around forever too. But no, everybody's turning up tonight. We've got 30 people on YouTube. We've got about 50 people on Kick, and it looks like we've got about 100 on X. So
nice,
solid turnout for sure. But you know, now we're getting in a little bit more to the future, like, and ultimately, like, it's kind of goes back to what I asked earlier, but like, not in the same way. You know, we have the roadmap here on the website. I'll share my screen again. And obviously phase 1 is done. Like, you know, we're launched on the SUI blockchain. We've got Crab Kingdom citizens. You've established communications with other projects on the in the ecosystem. And obviously the initial DEX liquidity has been provided. Are you on more than one DEX currently within SUI?
We're only on Moonbags. We've only got 2 liquidity pools, Cetus and Turbos.
Oh, well, that's perfect. So you're in the main 2 DEXs on
correct
on SUI. Perfect.
You're working for others.
Yeah. Well, I would tell you. Oh, let me fix my. Or wait, why is this not up? I accidentally removed that. I would look into Momentum. Momentum is quickly becoming the top DEX in SUI. Yeah, the Cetus hack really screwed them up. Yeah. Unfortunately, I know the team at Cetus. I know the team at Turbo. I don't know the team at Momentum, but it's really unfortunate what happened with Cetus. And obviously, we already talked about you're working on building strategic partnerships within the ecosystem. We talked about how you're working on community events as well. What about meme marketing campaigns? What are those going to work? Like, how will those work? Are you planning on building a generator so that people can generate memes? Or are you just wanting people to make their own art? Like, how do you envision that? And when do you envision that happening?
We need to look into that, honestly. You know, we haven't got to that point yet, but I'm going to get with a coder and, you know, work on that.
Totally. No, that makes sense. You know, and it's not a pressing question. It was just a question. So you don't have to have an answer to any of them, but you know, like a lot of these are incredibly community engaging, and I'm not going to lie. Like, there's nothing people love more than free shit. It's just that simple. Right. People love free shit, especially when all they have to do is spend 10 minutes, come up with a compelling post and use a prompt to generate an image or a GIF or whatever, right? But you still need the tools in order to be able to do that. If you tell people to go to ChatGPT and just generate an image, you know, maybe they're not on brand. Like yesterday, I did the giveaway post real quick before I got off my computer, and you know, it's a red crab. Well, that obviously doesn't fit the brand, right? It needs to be blue and etc. Like, so that's when it comes in, like, oh, maybe you build a tool so that they can use it and come up with a compelling post, etc. So like, there's a lot of thought process that goes in, but these are extremely good at bringing in new users because first they are attracted by a giveaway, then they get involved using the art and the tools and talking with the community, and then they just don't leave.
Right. Yeah, we do have a TG group that has all of our memes and images in it that everybody could use for their posts. You know, we've got that, but yeah, it'd be cool that we could make it where people can turn their own images into something.
Yeah, well, all you got to do is talk to me after stream. Luckily, I know people that build these things, so I can help point you in a direction and stuff like that. But yeah, no, it's all good stuff. And just 2 more things before we go, because you did mention memes, or not memes, NFTs, and there's currently nothing about NFTs listed, but earlier you had talked about people like having they want their own PFP, which makes sense. And ultimately, all you have to really do is think back to 2021, right? The NFT craze. Everybody's spending millions of dollars on CryptoPunks. They're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on Bored Apes. And these are just pictures. This is before utility and everything. Now, what is your vision for the NFTs? Is because the last thing anybody wants is an NFT line that is a money grab, right? Like
Yep.
either they're free mints to holders over so many tokens, or they have utility, or like how do you think it's going to be done? And the hard part is, I totally understand, is like you have to pay somebody to make these.
Right.
So
Yeah, we've got our artists working on them right now. Um, we're just uh, giving it time, doing it slowly. We're not in a hurry, but yeah, we're looking at ways to um, not just bring value in the image, but bring value into um, shoot into
holders,
holders. Yeah, thank you.
no problem.
So it's been a long day, but
I feel it.
yeah. So we're working on that right now. Um, we're working on the images. We're getting with our holders on what they vision the NFTs to have.
Awesome. I love the community engagement aspect, and like ask, don't get me wrong, like it goes back to like customers always right, but a lot of times the customer's fucking wrong. So
Right. Especially at a
there's
jail that I used to work at. Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. So you know very well what I'm saying, but
hmm
it's good to look for feedback from other people, because you know what, as much as we like to think it and think that we have the best plan, the best idea, honestly, a lot of times it can use tuning, right? It could use
Right.
another opinion. And that's where the community comes into play. And that's what I love about memes, is they should be community based. The community should have a say. Don't get me wrong. Like a lot of times it doesn't go their way. But when we're talking about like community engagement activities or new products and stuff like that, I would hope that a good dev or a good team would actually listen to the community, right?
Right. Right. Because the thing of it is it gives, to me, it feels like it gives it more value. It feels like the person in that community has value and they have a certain say. Maybe three out of the four things are, kind of a little bit off, but that one thing that they have is the biggest thing that's going to kick off what you have. And,
Totally.
you never know when you're going to get that alpha. You know, I'm getting it here, even just shilling my coin, from you and all the stuff. And I'm going to get it, constantly. So it's our community grows our coin because I'm just a dev. All I did was make a coin. I told its value. Now I'm showing its value and they're running with it. And I can't thank my community any more than it's amazing.
That's the crazy and beautiful thing about a meme coin, is ultimately, especially when you have one that's like grassroots like this. We're not talking about Pepe and Bonk and Shib and all those, right? Like they've already blown up, and honestly at this point, like the dev's vision is out of sight, right? But like the
hmm
great thing about grassroots meme coins, they're still building and they're still small, and the reason why I talk about them is because when you get to understand the community and understand the team, it's truly a collaborative effort, right?
hmm
Like that's
Right.
how it truly is. And the people that are there because they actually believe in, see, and want to follow the team's
hmm
vision, right?
hmm
Opposed to like later in the stage, you're like, win pump, you know? So
Right.
yeah. They're like, right now, people, I mean, I'm in your Telegram and I've seen in, they're like, oh, we trust the dev. Like we trust
Right.
what he's doing. We're here to support the project. And that's the feeling I'm in memes for.
Well, look at it this way, Josh. Um, when I first started out, I was doing recorded spaces to open air like a podcast, hoping somebody would at least hear what I had to say and my vision in my coin. I had a guy come in and was like, dude, what are you doing? You're talking to yourself. And I'm like, you know what? Hopefully somebody listens. And he's like, dude, that's bullish. And he went and told some friends and it grew from there. And now I'm in your view of King Crab. And as long as you stay convicted in what you're doing, you stay consistent, it's endless.
Yeah. And I hope you hold on to that ideology and that mindset forever. Like you're somebody I'm telling this new to. A lot of people in the chat, they already know this, but like for example, this show's been around for a year. This channel's only been around for a couple months. I used to be on a different channel. Every stream had thousands of views and every live stream had a couple hundred live viewers. But then, you know, that changed and I just randomly started a new stream. And at first, like nobody was watching, but I'm just going to keep streaming. It doesn't matter.
Right.
People will come back. People will search for me, and you've got to keep trying. As sooner or later, they want to listen to you, right? Like that's what it ultimately is. They are attached to your vision, your mindset, your thought process around the space and everything. Like, why give up? You had it before. In my case, right? Had it before. Why would that discourage me? And I'm saying you've captured the essence of that, and even when you get successful, don't give that up.
Right. You know, the thing of it is, even if you feel like you're successful, you still have room to grow.
Oh yeah.
And you know, I always will have room to grow, but we will grow and we will grow stronger. We will molt and we'll have that hustle. We'll never stop. You know, it's going to be amazing.
Totally. And like Camera Wall here says, he's another one that's been around for a long time, very long time, but you know, keep hustling. If you build it, they will come. I don't want to take up too much of your time. We're almost going for an hour. I told you that we'd be like a half hour, 45 minutes. There's currently, they keep coming in. There's currently 46 entries now in the giveaway. I do want to do one more roll, but before I do that roll, I want you to give your elevator pitch. There's 110 people outside of X that are currently watching the stream. There's another like 80 on X right now. And why should they come to the SUI ecosystem and why should they buy King Crab? What should they expect to get out of it? And yeah, just why King Crab?
The reason for King Crab is because we're not just a meme. We're a product, not just a project. We're building a brand. We have that drive, we have that longevity that SUI has, and that they had their vision. We have our vision, and it's the same thing. We're here to grow, we're here to build, and we would love to have you check out us and build with us. Because, you know, I'm just one dev. I'm just one guy from the Midwest that had a vision. And you know what? You can put value with it just like I can. You know, your voice has same amount of value as mine. And, you know, we'll run with everybody's voice. We're not just, you know, instead of being one King Crab, you know, we can work together and grow together. You know, king crabs live at the bottom of the ocean, but they can be on the beaches and drink those, you know, adult drinks. So
they can get to the top.
Yes, sir. So we're all going to work together. Cheers, brother.
So before I do the final roll, though, no, that's a great pitch. But before I get to the final roll, Camera Wall asks, does that make you the Crab King?
You know what? It'd be nice to be the Crab King, but we all can be the Crab King. You know, we can be the Crab King. You never know. We might have a Crab Queen out there too. So
just might.
Just might. Never say never. So
look,
you know what? We'll all grow together.
Hey, and that's the kind of attitude that a good meme project does need. You know, I had my thoughts, and they weren't bad. But
no, they weren't.
You know, I had reservations and stuff like that when I was first going through the project, and I feel a lot better talking to you about them all after the fact. About the project, I feel better about the project after the fact talking to you. It's always very good to see. Like, I want everybody to realize that King Crab did not pay to come on this channel. He donated a giveaway for all of you guys that we're about to do the last roll for, but I don't ask for money. I don't ask for tokens or anything like that. And I also didn't know if King Crab had doxed before or anything like that. I'm just like, hey, You're welcome to come on the show if you want to. And this was last night. And he's like, all right, when do you want to do it? I want to do it tomorrow at 5 p.m. Boom, we're live. That's the kind of attitude I like to see from a dev of a meme coin, from a leader of a meme coin. I don't want to see those leaders that are like, oh, well, first question is like, is it on camera? You know, like, now I don't trust you. Like, it doesn't have to be on camera, but that's your first question. It's a little bit sketch. And, you know, you've given a lot of good reasons. And ultimately, I can tell after talking to you, you don't have a lot of aspirations for money grabs through the process. It's really just building the brand and building the project. And that's what I want to hear. And I'm going to be following along as your journey continues. I focus heavily on the SUI ecosystem. And you know what? We just hit 60 entries in this. When I first brought it up, there was like 43. Now it's up to 60. So in the last like 3 or 4 minutes, another 20 have entered. We're going to draw it. All of you guys that are showing up here at the very end, you're out. We're rolling it.
Ooh.
You should have been here on time. Who's going to win the last one? Free pick. Congratulations. That's a new one in the live stream. I've not seen you before. Congrats on winning. Thanks for tuning into the live stream, and thanks for entering the giveaway. All you need to do in order to win, though, is you must be following King Crab on X. Also, make sure you're following me. Both of those links are in the description of the channel. But also, after you make sure you do those, drop your Telegram or X handle and let us know which one it is in the live chat so that after this stream, I can contact you and get you your tokens. Outside of that, we've got to drag this on to make sure that Free Pick can get his message in the live chat. But like, final words, anything you want to share with everybody or anything like that?
Keep your eyes on us because we're not going to stop grinding. You know, we're going to be jumping in chill spaces. You might find us. You know, while we grind, we grow, and we'll be molting and growing stronger. And we just want you to be a part of it. You know, it's going to be sweet. It's, you know, it's like
going to be sweet.
Right. You know, I got to thinking it's going to be like it could be like a slow boil, you know, because you don't want your crab legs to be too tough. But, you know, the thing of it is, you know, just because it's a slow boil, it's consistent. And that's what we need. And that's what we're going to have. So the consistency you're going to get from me is the grind. And I'll be there. I'll be there listening to you. I'll be listening to everybody. And, you know, we're going to grow.
It's funny because we actually have a lot of, sorry, I've got the hiccups. We actually have a lot of AVAX bros in the live stream. And a lot of them are heavily interested in getting into the SUI ecosystem. So that's part of the reason why I wanted to do this, because it's like the perfect entry into the SUI ecosystem. But while we are waiting on Free Pick to either claim his winnings or potentially be re-rolled, what are you, oh, there he is. But I'm still going to ask this question. Yeah. What are you interested in the SUI ecosystem? What has you excited before we close out?
The thing that I'm excited about is, you know, we grew when we all first got onboarded to crypto. It was like Solana, everybody's fighting each other. In the SUI ecosystem, the amazing thing of it is a lot of devs that have been here a while and that have learned some stuff from everybody else. They're willing to help you out. They want you to grow with them, and I want to grow with them as well. And you know, hopefully, you know I got to shill me on your space, but
you have to
come into the SUI ecosystem and see what it is. You know, if you got questions because of the Cetus hack or something else you've seen, just come check us out. And because it's not just me there, you know, but it's others, and we're all growing together. We're all building, you know, our own projects, but we're building the SUI ecosystem. So come dip your toes in the water, because the water is fine.
It's definitely a very comfortable temperature. And, you know, I'm sorry that you got blessed with the 600K scam wick. It's unfortunate, but if you keep doing what you're doing, I think that there's going to be a positive and bright future ahead. You know what? You have convinced me. I'm buying some king crab, and
Beautiful.
I definitely want a jersey. So I believe in your vision. I believe in your attitude, and I believe in your mindset. I think it's awesome, and it's been a pleasure to have you on and share your vision, and just be willing to open-endedly answer these questions and conversations. It's,
Oh yeah.
you know,
Thank you for your time, Josh. It's been amazing. You know,
oh,
talking to you last night, and talking to you now, it's been a blessing, brother. It's been great.
you're most welcome. And you know what? When you're inevitably at $5 million market cap, we'll come back and we'll revisit this stream, and we'll rehash it all, and we'll see where you're at from there. I'm going to be in the Telegram. I'm going to be in the community. I'll be following you on X, and we'll just see where it goes. I'm excited to see where you take it.
Absolutely. And we'll be, every step of the way, we'll be thanking you for your time.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, King Crab. I'm just going to close out the stream, and then I'll talk to you afterwards if you want.
Yes,
but
sir.
yeah. Other than that, guys, though, that is about all I have for you guys tonight. It was awesome to have King Crab on. Such a nice guy, such a great dev. And I think he's got the right mindset to make this work. It doesn't seem like there's any greed pushing the envelope. Not a lot of money grabs in the future, even though we have talks about NFTs and potential gamification and things like that. And speaking of gamification, you'll once again be able to catch me live tomorrow on Medicaid Stream YouTube channel, going over tournaments and things like that with a brand new one. So make sure you check me out there. And right after, once again, I will be going live here as I always do. Other than that, guys, smash up the likes, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.